Hello, and thank you for joining us for the first SLW Academy webinar, an introduction to the SLW Academy. A recording of this episode will be made available on the SLW website. Feel free to enter any questions using the Q&A feature in the Zoom menu. We invite you to visit the SLW Academy website to learn more about our courses and mission. To view this webinar on demand and others like it, visit the SLW Institute on slwip.com. And with that, I'll turn things over to our speakers.
Thanks very much, Sydney, and welcome to the conference webinar today, everyone. I hope what we have to say about the Academy is of some interest to you. My name is Piers Blewett. By way of background, I've been doing IP for around 35 years in various jurisdictions in Africa, Europe, and now the US in various roles. In a former life, I led a litigation team for a firm in South Africa, and more recently as VP and International Chief Patent Counsel in Europe and the US, I manage global litigation and large patent portfolios in an in-house capacity. I worked with a wide-ranging global team with members from many countries, and I'm happy to say I have friends and colleagues around the world. At the moment, I'm a principal at the Schwegman firm and mainly work on prep and pros and best practices. In support of that, litigation now plays less of a role. But in relation to the Academy, I've lived through political transitions in several countries, and our efforts with this Academy have been close to my heart. Chris, over to you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Chris Palmisano. I'm a principal and patent attorney with SLW for the last 13 years. I'm based in Minneapolis, and before joining SLW, I was an electrical engineer working in the field of acoustics and consumer electronics. And Piers and James, who you'll meet in a minute, and I and many of our colleagues here at SLW have been developing the curriculum and the site for SLW Academy for the last couple of years, and we're really excited to share our work with you today. Z, over to you.
Hi, my name is Shakalaski Carrion. Some people know me by Z. I've been with SLW for 18 happy years, of which 10 years I've been managing one of the coolest and hardworking teams, SLW's Docketing and Client Records Department. Shout out to my team. Whoop, whoop. I've had many mentors throughout my career at SLW that I'm very blessed to have found in my path and have taught me to encourage and be a mentor to others. I am very grateful to be part of the SLW Academy so I can reach out to more people and give back to our community.
Hello, my name is Alexis Listro, and while I've been practicing patent prosecution for about 14 years, I just joined SLW in 2022. I primarily focus my practice on software patent prosecution, including machine learning, artificial intelligence, and cloud computing. And I am excited to join the SLW Academy team to help introduce the next generation of intellectual property lawyers.
Good morning. My name is Arias Gregorian. I've been working in the IP space for going on a decade now and am now proudly a principal at SLW, working on patent preparation, prosecution, and strategy. Prior to that, I was an engineer working in control systems and RF. As an attorney, my practice focuses primarily on software, which lately has included a lot of AI, and I am very excited to be working with the SLW Academy.
My name is James Falkowski, and I serve as the website architect and the course designer for the SLW Academy. It has been my great pleasure to work with this team in creating this online resource. And now Sydney will ask you a few questions.
All right, let's get to know our audience. We are going to open up a poll with 3 questions, give you about 30 seconds to answer, and then share the stats with the group. All right, the poll is launched. You may answer now. All right, 5 seconds left. Okay. For the first question, do you know what patents and trademarks are? 100% of our audience responded with yes. Question number 2, are you a student or a working professional? 4% are students, 94% are working professionals, and 2% are both. When did you first become aware of intellectual property? 4% were aware before high school, 9% during high school, 36% during college, and 51% of our audience first became aware of intellectual property after college. Pierce, would you like to examine the results a little bit more?
Yeah, thanks very much. And well, amazing. Everyone got the first answer correct. 100% people know about that. No, that's interesting. We clearly have a team of experts out there. I thought the stat about 9% high school awareness, that's perhaps something where the Academy can help out a little bit more, bringing IP awareness at an earlier stage. But cool, thanks, Sydney. Good to know. Z, would you like to run us through the agenda for today?
Yes, thank you, Pierce. So in today's webinar, we will be discussing what is the SLW Academy, 2, the vision of the Academy, also give you a little insight of the instructors and advisors, get to know a little bit about us. Then key features of the Academy, and last, a little drum roll, a live demo. Just fingers crossed it all goes smoothly, because we all know how it goes when you want to show off something cool. So Pierce, can you please share with us what is the SLW Academy?
Sure, I'd love to, Z. So at a broad level, and I'll sort of speak in generalities because we don't have a ton of time today, but at a broad level, it is an online repository with curated courses that can be taken by an applicant or student at any time and at no charge to get a better understanding of IP. If you flick to the next slide, please, Sydney, we can try. So underneath this shows the streams, but there's a series of courses that you can take. But behind it all, we hope to provide a practical understanding and not just a theoretical understanding of IP, in the hope that practical skills help someone more quickly become a productive fee earner at a firm or a valued contributor in an in-house legal department. We've also included some material on practical mentoring tips, and Aris will describe that in more detail later on in our talk. As to this slide, there are 3 Academy streams, one aimed at existing law students or clerks currently studying for a law degree and potentially interested in moving across to IP. Another stream is aimed at STEM students, doing engineering, for example, and the third is aimed at high school students, which we mentioned earlier in the talk. We do offer certification. You'll see a little image of a certificate there, particularly in the law student stream, in the hope this helps to polish a resume or apply for funding or scholarship or a job or something. It's certainly not intended to present an extra burden for qualifications, so you don't have to get the certificate to graduate from the Academy or anything like that. Later on in James's part, you'll see when you sign up, the 3 certifications, one for high school, one for college and engineering, one for law school students. And these certifications have a variety of increasingly more detailed courses. So for example, the high school one has general patent primer and other courses on beginner patent pros and trademark law. The undergraduate certification, multiple courses ranging from, let's say, duty of disclosure to restriction requirements, esoteric things like that. And then the law school certification has additional courses from how to review a patent application to courses on beloved 101 Alice, 102 novelty, and 103 obviousness rejections, stuff like that. And each course is taught by a different attorney, so you get different perspectives and has a corresponding sort of a quick quiz to take. Just very briefly, I'd like to explain perhaps why the Academy looks like it does and why we designed it the way we did, with its practical emphasis. And on a personal note, I'll briefly mention a big trigger for us to get started was the untimely death of George Floyd. George's death happened very close, in fact, a few blocks away from our founding and home office in Minneapolis, and that had a big impact on us, as I'm sure it did for many people on this call. And in trying to to take some action or response, we wondered what best to do. Again, on a personal note, I grew up in Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe, and lived through the Civil War and transitioned there, then lived in South Africa through the release of Madiba, Nelson Mandela, and all the changes in that country. And as I'm sure you know, those two countries still face a lot of challenge. So in seeking inspiration, we looked back and tried to work out what worked and what didn't. And it struck us on the Academy team that even though universal franchise and access to all things seemingly became available to everyone, that was not really true. So as well as gaining access, knowledge transfer and mentorship became apparent as key aspects. And it's with these thoughts in mind that we built this academy to increase knowledge transfers. And our academy is a small effort to help with that. Sydney, next slide, please, as to vision. So the formal vision is set out there. I don't propose to read it out, but I'll just note that behind it is a desire to help people from all walks of life having aspirations in IP or to learn more about IP to more quickly become productive fee owners and contributors at a company. And finally, as Chris will mention later, let me just say we're looking for opportunities to partner with people and trying to use this academy and make as much use of it as we can and help in some way. So thanks for joining the call. You're interested in the topic. I'll now turn it over to the next speaker, and that's all from me.
Thanks, Pierce. As he noted, the Academy is a series of courses that are separated for high school students, college and graduate school students, and law school students. And they're taught by instructors and advisors who are experts in the field of intellectual property. Every course is engaged with videos, practical tips, valuable insights, so that you can quickly get the most out of the important concepts and best practices in a free and on your own time service. The goal of the Academy courses is to give you a foundational understanding of intellectual property in the US and a little hint at PCT law. The SLW Academy also provides advice to students, workplace practice tips to help law students and new lawyers, and even a general course on what careers are available in the intellectual property world. Our instructors are all employees at SLW, and through the courses, you will see their guidance on a variety of careers from instructors who have worked in the field. They offer advice sharing many years of experience in IP as attorneys, paralegals, scientists, and docketing managers. And on that note, Z, what does it mean to be an attorney working in docketing?
Well, that is a great question, Alexis. Really, in short, it's awesome to be a senior manager docketing and client records. After really not knowing what I wanted my career to be when I finished law school and then I passed the bar exam, I knew I didn't want to be an attorney anymore, but what was going to be next? So I luckily discovered my career path at SLW in intellectual property. And how I found that career path, you will have to register to the Academy's courses. Dun, dun, dun. Well, I can't spill all the beans in this webinar, right? So as I share my career path, there are other colleagues that also share their story. We also talk about mentorship, how to seek mentorships, and sometimes it's not that easy to reach out to people. So how about you, Alexis? How did you get here in your career, and what does it mean to be a patent prosecution attorney?
Thanks, Z. My path to patent law actually started very early. It was the year 2000. I was a sophomore in high school, and before Google was Google, before YouTube was even created, and even before I had my first flip phone, I was going to LAN parties and coding in Visual Basic. Basically, that means I started programming at a young age. And by the time I was 16, I actually knew I wanted to be a patent prosecutor, which is definitely, I would say, not the normal age. I was lucky enough, I was introduced to the concept of intellectual property law by a community college professor who gave me a book called The Future of Ideas by Lawrence Lessig. You may know him as a prominent legal scholar and advocate focusing on the combination of technology, creativity, and innovations, and the starter of Creative Commons. From there, I learned about copyright law, then trademarks, and finally, I discovered what patent law was. And I knew the combination of patents from science to law is what I wanted to do. But at age 16, none of my teachers and even my parents believed I actually wanted to be a patent prosecutor. However, none of that mattered. So I applied to college for computer science engineering, and then I went directly to law school. And obviously, I ended up as a patent prosecutor. However, from high school to college and even into law school, I never found the resources that could really immerse me in what it was like to be a patent prosecutor, especially things like, do I really even want to get involved in this, to all the way up to what does the patent prosecutor do on their day-to-day basis? Those kind of things didn't exist 23 years ago, and realistically, there aren't too many sources that exist like that now. So I would have loved to have the SLW Academy program back then to show me what it was really like. Luckily, I made it to the field. And to answer your second question, to me, being a patent prosecution attorney is the perfect intersection of science and law. It requires me to keep learning new technologies and stay on top of the leading edge of science.
You know, it's always interesting to me to see in the intellectual property world, different career paths that range from admin staff, paralegals, attorneys, patent agents, technical specialists, management positions. Like, not everyone that works on this field needs to be an attorney or STEM related career. A recent quote from Pat Leo post that resonated with me, start quote was, "The benefits of diversity are manyfold, and it is crucial that we work together to ensure every voice contributes to our collective progress," end quote. And you know what? That is 100% true. Teamwork sure does the dream work, I would say. And these type of topics are discussed in the academy courses, plus educational patent and trademark prosecution courses. The Academy has modules regarding advice to students, workplace practices, tips for success in your career, careers in intellectual property. I would say go check out our website. It will be totally worth your time. And Aris, why should people do our courses?
Yeah, thanks, Z and Alexis. So I'm going to introduce you to the key features and benefits of the SLW Academy. Our mission is to foster diversity and inclusivity within the field of intellectual property law, particularly for underrepresented students. So first, one of the standout features of the SLW Academy is that it's offered as a free resource because we firmly believe in removing financial barriers and providing equal opportunities. By eliminating tuition, we can ensure that talented individuals, regardless of their financial circumstances, can access valuable educational resources and networking opportunities. Second, the SLW Academy is highly accessible. We welcome students at various education levels. So whether you're a high school student with an interest in law, or a college student with a science or engineering background, or a law student looking to specialize in IP, we're here to support and nurture that interest at any stage of your academic journey. And next, we understand the importance of flexibility. Our courses are designed to be accessible at any time, allowing you to study at your own pace and convenience. We recognize that life can be busy, everyone has obligations, and we want to make sure that you can balance your commitments while still benefiting from the valuable knowledge and insights that we provide. And finally, upon completion of the program, participants receive a certificate of completion, which will serve as a testament to the skills and knowledge acquired through the program, and hopefully enhance your credentials by demonstrating your commitment to the field. We hope that it'll be a valuable addition to your resume or academic portfolio. So in joining the SLW Academy, we hope you'll gain an understanding of IP law, establish valuable connections with experienced practitioners, and build a strong foundation for a future career in IP. So with that, thank you, and we invite you to explore the SLW Academy. So let me reintroduce you to James for a quick demo.
All right, are we sharing the screen? Looks like we are. So the SLW Academy is an exciting opportunity for anyone in the world to start the journey into intellectual property. The website is slwacademy.com, no spaces or punctuation. There has been an intentional decision to try and make the account creation and course registration processes as barrier-free as possible. We've tested the site under multiple desktop and smartphone browser situations to ensure that there's good user experience. In order to register to the site, so here when we hit the main page of the site, the instruction is all you need to do to get started is click my account and then click register. So we'll go up to my account. And then this says, if you don't have an account yet, click the login button and click the register link on that page. So we click on login and then register an account. And here we ask just a few key pieces of information. The site will only allow contact between the students and our office. There's no contact back or forth, and we, of course, don't sell names to other users. So we'll have a username and then an email account. And then the user's first name and last name. And then a password. And then you register. So registration was successful. At this point, we would want to have students enroll. So there's an instruction here that now you can enroll by going to the All Courses tab. And we're suggesting that people start with one of the patent primer courses. So here's the list of courses. As Piers had mentioned, we've got 3 certification levels, one for high school students, one for undergraduate and graduate students in STEM areas, and one for law school students or graduates. But we also have additional courses such as advice to students, workplace practices and tips for success, different careers in intellectual property, some career information about SLW, and then employee profiles. So in order to begin a course, you would click on the name of it. That will bring up a description of the course. It says that you're currently not enrolled, but this is a free course, so you can take this course if you wish. So if I click on take this course, I am now dropped into the course and I can begin the course. So this is an overview. At the top, there's a progress bar that lets students know how far they've made it into the course. For the certification courses, there are quizzes in addition to the lectures. So if I'm interested in looking at the lessons and taking the courses, I can open that up, click on Patent Primer, and this is the beginning. A quick overview of what the course will cover, so the topics in the course, and then all of the courses are video-based. So there are video lectures, and then there are also transcripts for the courses. At the end, there are knowledge checks, so there are quizzes for students to take to show that they have understood the material. Students can take the quizzes as many times as they wish. And if they achieve 80% or higher on the quiz, they have completed it successfully and it counts for their certification. One of the other features of the site is that we've set it up so that students can change their own profile setup. So again, the students can only communicate back and forth with our office. They can't reach out to each other, but to meet their accessibility needs, they can choose different color schemes. So if they have low vision or color blindness, they can do that. Change to best interact with the course site. They can also change the information here about their profile. So that's a feature of the site to try and make it as user-friendly to students as possible. And that's the quick demo. I will now turn it over for our call to action.
Thanks, James, for that demonstration. I think others should be well equipped now to jump into using the Academy right away. If you do try to log in and you have any questions or issues, you can always contact us by email at academy@slwip.com, and we'd be happy to assist you. That email address is just in the upper left corner of the screen right now. So to recap, the SLW Academy grew out of DEI efforts at SLW, and more specifically from peers' desire to create a program that'll have a lasting impact throughout our professional community. But so the Academy's initial motivation was to serve as a tool for underrepresented students to get a leg up on IP opportunities at our firm and elsewhere. But throughout its development, the Academy has become a tool that can be more widely deployed to help students of all backgrounds and abilities get introduced to IP, foster an interest in patents and trademarks, and more generally in the practice of law. And it can help introduce students to the many varied roles in the profession, including in attorney and non-attorney roles. So we hope that you've seen now through the demo and our other discussions today, the potential utility of the Academy. And we'd love to have you help us spread the word about the Academy with the students or the mentees that are in your life. So please share the link, slwacademy.com, and help others join us on our career paths in IP. And even though the Academy is a product that's grown from SLW out, we consider this a community resource, and we want it to ultimately be less associated with our firm and more with the IP community as a whole. So to that end, we're looking for partners who also see the potential value in the Academy in reaching new audiences and introducing others to intellectual property. Partners can help in all sorts of ways. So for example, partners can help by recognizing the Academy certificate, or using it as a gateway for grants or scholarship opportunities, or even using it as a screening tool for job applicants who may not have had other ways to demonstrate an interest in intellectual property. If you're interested or your organization is interested in partnering in one of these ways, please let us know, and we'll feature your organization on the Academy site. And if you have other ideas, we'd love to hear them too. Send us an email and let's chat about your ideas for spreading the word and using the Academy in your organization. With that, thanks very much for your attention today. We really appreciate your interest in the Academy, and we look forward to hearing from you. Sydney, are there any questions in the chat that we can address before we close?
There are no questions that haven't been answered. And a few things about this conclusion. You'll see two QR codes. The code on the left leads you to the SLW Academy registration page, and on the right leads you to the SLW Academy website homepage. On the bottom of the screen, you will see a link to our recent article in Patently O. I am going to drop that link in the chat. And if you would like to read at your own leisure. And I see that there's two more questions if Pierce and Chris were be able to answer them.
Sure, Sydney, I'll have a go. And Chris, please feel free to chime in if I miss anything. Question was, do we plan to have some specialized courses beyond foundational? Yes, in some sense, the best stream to tackle initially is the law student stream. And we've deliberately created courses in there that will help you in a practical way. For example, draft a patent app or respond to a typical office action, that sort of thing. So if you do need more help or you want to get into the weeds on a specific aspect, please feel free to contact us. And that segues to the next question. Someone very kindly offering to connect as a partner, and is the Academy email the best contact information? Yes, it is. Chris, could you read out the email contact address again, please?
Yeah, it's right on the screen on the top left still.
Got it. There we go.
slwip.com.
Great. And that queries there are monitored, so please feel free to reach out, that anonymous attendee. CLE is something we're working on, and so please bear with us on that one. But again, if we can help with that, please feel free to reach out to the contact address. Sydney, any more questions? I think we've answered everything.
I believe those are all of the questions. All right.
Great.
Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful rest of your day.